Hello, Spirit speaking. Here's a few moments I like to call the Cosmic Giggles. You know those situations in life that all of us have had, where something happens that just ticks you off, and later a light bulb goes off in your head, when suddenly you realize that while you were busy doing damage control in the 3D, the universe may have been quietly running the bigger picture. And when that bulb is finally lit, sometimes the whole thing turns out to have been nothing short of a one-act comedy show. This is what happens when we skip the check-in. Have you ever been in the situation where you were just looking for one thing, just one thing? Guys, have you ever stood there just watching someone try to find something in their bag and you don't say anything, you just observe like it's a full unfolding situation? And if you're listening to this, you've all done this more times than you probably care to admit. Because it doesn't matter what kind of bag you have. You could be carrying everything or barely anything at all. Either way, you're not finding it. You start off confident. You know exactly what you're reaching for. It's in here. And if you're carrying one of those larger bags, you've basically got your entire life in there. Like you're prepared like a good Girl Scout for anything. Not just for you, but for everybody. Band-aids, gum, mints, perhaps a safety pin, something for a headache, or something for a situation that hasn't even happened yet. At this point, people could come to you for supplies. You are no longer carrying a bag, you're running a support system. Somewhere along the way, it stops being a bag and starts becoming a storage unit, until one day your shoulder reminds you you've been carrying your entire life on one side and it's slowly starting to collapse. And then there are those smaller bags where you think, this is it. I have simplified my life. Nope. Now it's just chaos compressed. Less space, same confusion. Either way, you reach in for that one thing. Just one thing. It's in here. You go in, you feel around, it's not there. At first you stay calm. You go back in a little more focused. Now you're feeling around, moving things slightly, still in control, and then something shifts. Now your whole hand is in there like you're trolling with a fishing net. You're not searching anymore, you're doing a clean sweep. You start hitting compartments. Zipper, side pocket, another zipper, and then suddenly you realize this bag has more rooms than your house. You open one section thinking, this feels important. Of course it's not. Then you find something, and for a second you get excited. Oh, there it is. It's not. And then you don't trust yourself anymore. Then your hand hits something soft. You pull it out. Lipstick. No cap. Of course. Now it's on your hand. You look at like, this just escalated, and somehow, before you even understand how it happened, it's on your white shirt. Oh no. Now everything stops because this isn't about the original thing anymore. Now you're like, we're not going out anywhere like this. Now you're digging again, but with a sense of urgency. You're looking for something entirely different. The Tide to Go pen, you're convinced you have one. You don't know when you got it, but it feels like something that you should have. Now everything's coming out faster, gum, not wrapped, just existing in there like it belongs. A pen that somehow marks the tip of your hand on the way out. Now you've got ink on your fingers and a note to self to wash your hands later. Now you pull something else out and you pause. I wasn't looking for this, not today, but at some point in my life this mattered. Now everything's out, everything. You're sitting there surrounded by it and you realize this bag doesn't really lose things, they just vanish. They hide deep in the recesses like they've moved in permanently. It almost seems like a Venus flytrap. You put something in and it's gone. Not just missing, it's so well hidden that you stop seeing it forever. So now you sit there for a second, take a deep breath, and then you start reorganizing it. Because now it matters. You're grouping things, making sections, creating order in something that has never had any order. And for a moment you actually think, I should probably do this more often. Deep down inside, you know you won't. You go back in one last time, slow and focused, and there it is, exactly where it should have been, just hidden underneath everything else. And you just sit there for a second looking at it, looking at everything around you, realizing it didn't matter what kind of bag it was, the outcome was always going to be the same. You look up, shake your head, and say, okay, I get it. And that's when Spirit gives you that cosmic wink.